I don't want to sit up here and say the WNBA needs to go make me a sandwich, but they most certainly need a reality check. Some people are going to label me as a quote-unquote misogynist for even making this video. Truth of the matter is, I love women. I just have to come out with the cold hard facts, and I gotta call things for how I see it. You want to know what I really think about this whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark feud? Get your popcorn, buddy. Welp, it's that time of the year where there's not a lot going on in the sports world outside of the NBA playoffs, and the WNBA somehow, someway finds a little bit of relevance. It seems like we make this video every single year on the channel, ironically enough, or coincidentally enough, however you look at it, around the same time of the year as well. To go along with all of that, if you are new around here, in the years prior, I have pretty much stated, to make a long story short in those videos, the WNBA needs to shut up and go make me a sandwich. But whoa, hold on. I know what you're sitting here saying, Matt. Come on, dude. That's crazy. You can't be saying that. Here's my response. Is it really? Reminder, I'm not talking about this year. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm talking about in the years prior. I'm just recapping what you've missed if you haven't been around the channel for the past 4, 3, 2 years, and so on. The reason I've told the WNBA in the years prior to go make me a sandwich is relatively simple. You should just be grateful that the NBA is keeping you afloat. What has the WNBA been griping about the past 2 to 3, 4 years? Oh, well, we want more money. We deserve to be paid more. My whole argument is, buddy, that's not how it works. Number one, the NBA's been keeping you afloat. Number two, you lose money every single year. And a great comparison example is boxers, fighters, whatever you want to call them. Some random Joe Schmo boxer or UFC fighter isn't going to get paid as much as Jake Paul or Floyd Mayweather, any of the top dogs you want to throw out there, because it's as simple as this: supply and demand. It's business 101. It's not complicated. It's common sense. And I try to dumb these things down. The WNBA has been acting like there's some hidden agenda against them and they don't want to pay them. No, they'd love to, but you're not bringing in the revenue, so they can't. I don't even want to start a whole rant on that, so we're just going to move on. And what blew my mind, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, is you had some players saying, oh, well, we just want equal pay as the men. And one word that was thrown out there in prior past was, we want it to be fair. Fair? You want it to be fair? All right. If you really want it to be fair, then you wouldn't make any money because, like I said, the WNBA loses money every single year. That's fair, but I digress. I may touch more on that later in this video. Let's talk about what has transpired this year. As we all know, if you haven't been living under a rock, the WNBA has been in the headlines dang near every single day, and I'd argue and say they've gotten more clout, hype, and attention in these last 3 months than they've gotten in the past, I don't know, 10 to 15 years combined. It's been ridiculous. You can't get on any social media platform, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever, without seeing something about the WNBA, which is great for them. I'll get into all that in just a second. Point is, they're somewhat relevant now. With that being said, this has been arguably one of the most highly requested videos on the channel. For the past couple of weeks, I've had so many people tweet at me, write to me on Instagram, yo, Matt, when are you going to talk about Caitlin Clark? When are you going to talk about the WNBA, Angel Reese, and blah, 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 blah. As some of you may have or may not have noticed, I haven't spoken on it up until now. And there's a reason for that. I'm not going to lie. I don't care. A lot of people are scared to say this. Fortunately enough for you, I'm not. The WNBA is trash. I know some of you think I'm trying to be funny. I'm not. They have the skill level of maybe, on a good night, a middle school boys basketball team. And that's maybe. I have a hard time even giving them that because now you got some middle schoolers that are insanely athletic and they can dunk, knock down three-pointers. The game has evolved so much, but the one thing that hasn't evolved is women's basketball. If anything, it's gotten worse. I say it's gotten worse. That's me being harsh. It's stayed stagnant. I'm kind of all over the place here. I do apologize for that, but let me go back to my original point here why I haven't talked about any of this for the past couple of weeks. When I tell you I don't care about the WNBA, I don't know if that does it any justice. To put it into perspective, in my entire life, I have never watched a WNBA basketball game up until this season. I've seen some highlights here and there, but I've never sat down, cleared my schedule, and watched an entire ball game, or even half a game at that. The only time I've ever seen it is when you're in a restaurant, maybe it's on the TV screen or something like that. I've never turned it on my TV screen and got hyped up for it and just sat down and watched it. However, as we all know, it seems like the WNBA has found their modern version of Michael Jordan, at least from an aura standpoint. They've most recently gotten Caitlin Clark. A few weeks ago, it might have been a month or longer ago, I did tune into her season opener in which she got in foul trouble early, but I did watch the first half. That was the first time in my life I sat down, turned the game on, sat on my couch, no phone, no distractions, and just watched the WNBA. Heading into that ball game, I was going into it with an open mindset. I was trying to give the WNBA a chance. Because you're going to have some people that think I'm trying to hate on the WNBA. I'm not. I just have to call things for how I see it. For example, one thing I watch every single year, I'm not going to say I really look forward to it, but I'll turn it on in the background when I'm editing videos and working in the office and whatnot, cooking some food, is women's college softball. I don't watch the regular season or anything like that, but in the Women's College World Series, yeah, it's kind of entertaining. The WNBA doesn't even come close to women's college softball, but different conversation for a different day. Getting back on track here at Miss Caitlin Clark, I watched the season opener, and I think in the first couple of minutes, she got 2 ticky-tacky fouls, so she sat a majority of that first half. While she was sitting on the bench, I said, okay, this is a chance for the other female hoopers to entice me to continue to watch the WNBA. When I tell you they were hot garbage, and keep in mind, I just watched a first half, I mean it. It was so bad, it was unbearable to watch. It got to the point where I was flipping back and forth from that game just to see whenever Caitlin Clark got subbed back in, because when she's on the bench, no, I couldn't watch it. I could show the highlights, but there's no need of it. If you've seen the WNBA, you know what I'm talking about. I saw players missing wide open layups. Layups! I'm not talking about slightly contested. I'm talking about wide open. If you miss a floater in the paint, I kind of overlook that as it's kind of in-betweener shot. But a layup? I know 8-year-olds that can do that. There was one play, too. It's all coming back to me, unfortunately. I saw a player hit the side of the backboard on a 3, get a rebound, then airball at mid-range. It's bad, okay? It's really, really bad. The one thing that really drove me crazy, though, it's not the lack of athletic ability. I think skill can make up for it, but it's just the silly turnovers. The amount of times they just throw the ball out of bounds, or they throw it directly to their team, or they throw it to a teammate, and it skids off their hands and goes out of bounds, it blows my mind. I don't understand how you are a full-grown adult, and maybe that's the natural skill level of a woman, but I don't understand as a full-grown adult how you can look at a player who is covered and go, yeah, that'd be a good idea to pass it to him. And they do it multiple times a game. I don't know if something's wrong with their brains. I don't know if they don't process information as quickly as men do on the court. Maybe they can't read defense. Well, it's not even read defenses. You're just throwing it directly to our player. Maybe to some of you enjoy it, but this is the coach in me coming out. I can't watch that type of basketball. I can't. It lowers my IQ, and it doesn't infuriate me. It's just embarrassing to even say I watched it. As far as it goes for the gameplay, it's awful. Nothing has changed there. I already know you're going to have some nerd run to the comment section. Well, Matt, actually, there's this one player who averages 22 per game, and she's really good, and name off a couple others. Listen, buddy, that's called an exception. I'm talking about for the vast majority of the WNBA, they suck. Let's talk about this, though. It's arguably the main reason I'm making this video. It's what everyone wants me to talk about. Miss Angel Reese and Miss Caitlin Clark. We gotta address the elephant in the room, right? You know why we're talking about them. They're the talk of the town. It seems like there's always something going on with Angel Reese. Like sometimes she'll throw some shade towards Caitlin Clark. I think she did that about a week ago. I saw that. And then you got Caitlin Clark, who's just trying to go out there and hoop. She wound up deleting a tweet about 2 weeks ago where she said something. It looked like maybe she was throwing, like I said, some shade towards Clark. And I'm not even going to talk about it because I can't even remember what the tweet was about. But one thing that has came up recently is how Angel Reese talked about how people aren't just watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. They're watching for, in her words, me too. Some people did take that quote out of context because I also saw in that statement where she stated they're watching because of everybody. But the quote did rub a lot of people the wrong way because they're taking it as like, oh, Angel Reese is a pick-me girl saying, oh, well, what about me? What about me? People are watching because of me. And you get how all that goes. You want to know what I really think about this whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark feud? Get your popcorn, buddy. Similar to what I said earlier, and this might not be the last time I state this, don't care. When you don't care about something, you also don't have an opinion about it. So that's where I stand. You're going to have some people saying too, well, Matt, if you don't care, why are you making the video, buddy? It's because everybody's been wanting me to talk about this. And I'm really talking about just everything that has transpired in the WNBA, the gameplay, and et cetera, and we got more stuff to talk about. But as far as it goes for Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and their banter back and forth, here's why I don't care. Most of y'all know this. This is, what now, 90% a college football channel, 5% basketball channel. We talk about the NFL too. And 3 to 4% of the time we'll do a vlog on the channel or a life update, something like that. In my spare time when I'm not making videos, whether that be for basketball or football, I'm doing other things in my life. I work out, I clean, I cook, I mow the grass. There's many other things I could list. And one thing I've really been enjoying lately is golfing. when I'm not working, when I'm not making videos, number one, I love to compete in life, and number two, I love to become a better version of myself every single day, and number three, I'm always busy. I'm trying to offer y'all some perspective and some insight on your boy Matt. I am always trying to level up my own character. I'm always trying to become a better version of Matt Be Great every single day. With that being said, I don't understand how any of you have time to keep up with this whole fiasco between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I don't get why y'all care that much, because I know dang well you're not watching the WNBA games. There's no way. And if you're not watching the games, how are you so captivated by the drama that's going on behind the scenes? I honestly don't believe this was on purpose. Angel Reese has become the villain of the WNBA, and it has done numbers, and it's done a lot of great things for their viewership. That's one thing the WNBA's lacked. They don't have villains, there's no head-to-head battles, and that's why we love watching college basketball, the NBA, the college football playoffs, and the NFL, because of all the animosity that's built up. It doesn't matter what you think about it, whose side you're on, this feud between Reese and Clark has done a lot of good for the game. And guess what? The WNBA announced they've had their most watched games ever to start the season. But, and I have a really big but, take a listen to this. You would think with all this noise and all the attention the WNBA has received in these past couple of weeks, it would mean they're close to breaking even, right? Or they may be even profiting a little bit. But no, that's not the case. News came out that the WNBA is still expected to lose $50 million this year. $50 million. Oh yeah, too, I almost forgot to mention, throw this in there. The WNBA no longer flies commercial. They're on private, I believe it's called charter planes. 50 M's, man. That's crazy. And I know what all these mega contracts that get thrown around in the NBA and NFL, a lot of people, they're numb to seeing that much money, but that is a lot of money to lose in a business. And think about it. This is the most popular the WNBA has ever been. This is why I say, bro, if you're in the WNBA and you're crying about your pay, just shut up. You sound stupid. You are losing money. Your organization is minus $50 million in the bank. You should just be grateful they're even giving you $50K a year. I know what you may be sitting there saying, well, Matt, what's the importance of this? Why do you bring this up? This is why I haven't made a video on this topic up until this point, and I won't make a video after this until probably around the same time next year, and we're going to say the same stuff. The WNBA losing that much money, it goes to prove and it goes to show that nobody actually cares about this league. They don't. All everybody is obsessed with is this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark drama. That's it. I'm more so convinced that people are more entertained and intrigued with this race war between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese than the actual game itself. You don't care about the WNBA. You don't, so don't sit up here and act like it. Don't go in my comment section writing you do, because you don't. These numbers prove it. The only thing people care about in this life is drama and playing the victim role and crying and complaining 24/7. People in this life, they've craved drama and attention so bad, it's almost like a drug. It's insane. And a good way to get all this attention, clicks, and views is to talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. But the sad part about it is I've heard more about Clark and Reese off the court than on the court. Granted, like I said a couple of times, the WNBA's trash, I get it. But if you're not going to watch the games, don't get caught up in the drama off the court. I don't want to see anybody in the comment section saying, no, Matt, you're wrong. I've been watching the games and they're pretty good. You're lying twice. Number one, you haven't been watching the games. And number two, they're not good. It's not a good display basketball. You could take the best team in the WNBA and they will lose to the best team in high school basketball every single year. As a matter of fact, I'd be shocked if it was under 40 to 50 points. Oh yeah, what about this? I almost forgot to bring this up. Caitlin Clark didn't make the USA team. What was that about? Politics, I guess. I have no idea. I'm not even going to get into all that. Here's the last thing I'm going to say before your boy Matt gets canceled. I probably already got canceled by this point in the video. I don't want to sit up here and say the WNBA needs to go make me a sandwich, but they most certainly need a reality check. The only reason people are tuning in to the slightest in which they're even giving it an ounce of attention, is because of Caitlin Clark. All this will fizzle out and fade away. The WNBA is always going to lose money. They're always going to be irrelevant. Some people are going to label me as a quote-unquote misogynist for even making this video. Truth of the matter is, I love women. I just have to come out with the cold hard facts, and I got to call things for how I see it. It's nothing personal. It's just the reality of the situation. You lost $50 million. What do you want me to come up here and say? Oh man, this is a great business. No, that'd be me doing a disservice to my audience. If this video offended you, you're just a weenie who doesn't like the cold hard facts, and my community will take care of you in the comment section, so have fun going back and forth with them. I'm curious, and let me know your thoughts down below about that woman.